It's Friday, and that means it's time to hear your voice. Every week, radio and podcast hosts from across the political spectrum join us here in the Situation Room to share what their listeners are talking about across the country. Between this week's elections and the chaos caused by this historic government shutdown, there is a lot to discuss. So let's get right to it with Michelangelo Signorelli. He is the progressive host of the Michelangelo Signorelli Show, and John Anthony, the conservative host of Detroit's Morning Answer. All right, John. Let's kick it off with you. What's top of mind for your listeners this past week?
The government shutdown is top of mind for everybody. So many people are struggling. They're concerned about daycare. They're concerned about groceries on the table, and they're flustered and they're frustrated. And they want the government to open yesterday. And I really do hope it opens. I mean, now that the elections is over, Chuck Schumer can open back up the government.
Who are your listeners predominantly putting the blame on? And I'm assuming that are they conservative?
I have a very eclectic listening crowd.
Okay.
I'm even having some Democrats who are coming on, and they're seeing through a lot of the minutia of what's really happening because they can do the math. They notice that there are 55 votes that are voting, and to open the government, and they don't see a lot of Democrats on that side. And so they're saying open up the government and open it up now. Chuck Schumer, not Donald Trump.
Michelangelo, what about you? What are your listeners saying about the shutdown and who's to blame?
Well, the shutdown was a lot of discussion in the early part of the week. It's quickly to the election, but nonetheless, people have been very concerned. They are organizing food bank deliveries, donating, doing what they can, taking care of people who they know. That's been the top issue with the shutdown in terms of just caring about people, but they are overwhelmingly placing the blame on Donald Trump and the Republicans. Our audience is national, and it is a progressive show, but we go everywhere: small towns, big cities, rural areas, and we have a lot of Trump supporters call in as well. Everyone is concerned, and they are blaming the Republicans and the president, because even he took the blame by the middle of the week. And I had several people say, well, now he's saying the shutdown is killing them in the election. They're admitting that it's their problem.
He did say that clearly it's hurting Republicans, the perception of Republicans, and he tied it to the election. But just to really quickly follow up with you, Michelangelo, do you get the sense your listeners want Democrats to keep fighting on this until they get a deal on health care?
Absolutely. Our listeners have been very clear and putting the pressure on members of Congress. They've been calling. They've been telling us what they're saying when they're calling their senators. They really want them to stand firm. We've been getting the calls from people who are getting the letters about their health care doubling and going up dramatically. And you know the numbers because you've reported on them. But the stories are heartbreaking. And the stories of the people who are dealing with SNAP benefits as well. We've heard from people. One woman who is taking care of her father who is very sick. She has two children. She's a single mom. She is struggling. So we're hearing all of that, and but they are still saying they want the Democrats to stand this primary issue that they're concerned about.
John, I know your listeners had quite a lot to say about the election, right, and the election losses for Republicans. And they also had a bit to say about Mamdani, who is the mayor-elect of New York City now. What are you hearing?
Well, first of all, I too have a national show called Black and White Radio, heard in 50 states and 64 countries too. So there's a lot of people that listen into. I do radio 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday. Well, people when they look at Mandani speaks to the Twitter crowd, not to the American people. I think what his victory represented, it was a true victory. There's no doubt about it. But I think if this is what if Mandani, AOC, Bernie Sanders, if this is what the Democrats want to become their leadership, let them, because Republicans and the American First agenda will topple this. And especially as it relates to the midterm elections coming up, that may win in New York, but that's not going to win in certain parts of Michigan. That's not going to win in certain parts in the Sun Belt and in a lot of the southern states. That progressive ideology that Mandami has espoused, that's not going to win America. America. Although we have socialist and communistic leanings in some areas, America as a whole is not ready for that. And New Yorkers are going to suffer from this guy now being their elected leader. And I'm here for it.
Well, we'll see. He is mayor-elect now. He's in the transition. John, Michelangelo, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on.
All right, thank you.
And coming